So there are a ton of mascots that are built very specifically to promote some type of product. For example, the stork who eats pickles to promote pickles. Now, maybe you ask yourself, why a stork would like pickles? They probably don't, but you know exactly who I'm talking about when I mention this particular mascot. There are some mascots that are popular enough to get merchandise. Some of these mascots also get video games too, like the cheetah who promotes Cheetos, or the clown who promotes McDonald's. One of these is actually the Dot off of the 7-Up bottles, which in the 90s was promoted as a cool sunglasses wearing kind of guy. I guess that's neato. However, we're not talking about that particular soft drink. We're here to talk about Pepsi's mascot, Pepsi Man. He's a fantastic mascot. He was mostly promoted in Japan, but I swear we did have a commercial here at one point. Either way, he gained a cult following and some merch, and even a female version. Ironically, all the commercials appear to have happened in America, which is really weird. As for the game, I know where I heard about this game. Back in the day, G4, a channel for gaming and comics, which was a thing on cable and satellite TVs, it died due to lack of variety in programming. But there was one show. Late at night, the channel would randomly have clips of some weirder video games or some foreign video games. Some of these were Japanese exclusive, which is probably where I saw Pepsi Man. Pepsi Man is a Japanese exclusive game for the PlayStation 1, which features Pepsi Man as the main hero, which gained some popularity over the internet. Another YouTuber actually killed Pepsi Man, so he won't be cameoing here. But yeah, this game has a cult following here in the USA as a bad game. The irony is that this game actually had some pretty high reviews back in the day. There were some lower ones too, but yeah, let's find out what's what. Let's do this. Let's take on Pepsi Man! Okay, starting off the story. Pepsi Man is basically a superhero of Pepsi. His commercials are always over the top, but this game is kind of a lot, even knowing that. He saves people from rioting, goes through a massive citywide fire to save some people, saves people stranded in the desert, and even the world. Yes, the entire world here forgot what the hell water is and only drinks Pepsi. I guess Mountain Dew got the shaft for some reason. There's even an entire city that is run on Pepsi alone. Shame the life expectancy is really low due to diabetic shock. Also, don't expect me to drink Pepsi. I can't stand this stuff. I'm more of a Mountain Dew guy, while, yeah, that's still PepsiCo. Yeah, I'm actually trying to quit that too, because that's not good for me if I'm going to be really honest with you guys. Regardless, these plots are fine. They're a little silly, though. The point is to sell Pepsi, but realistically, people dying in the desert wouldn't want Pepsi. Rumor has it Pepsi actually dehydrates rather than hydrates, so there's that. While the silly plot is fine, realistically, Pepsi Man is a menace. Now for the presentation. Pepsi Man looks pretty decent for the time. PlayStation 1 games don't age super well, but Pepsi Man has a lot of charm regardless. The game uses 2D sprites for the humans and basic 3D models, often with a Pepsi texture over them, for other things. And nothing really looks super bad by any means. Even the animations look pretty decent, with Pepsi Man's initial silliness from the commercials translating really well into the game. A nice touch is when you game over, you see a messed up can of Pepsi. This is a reference to the commercials which Pepsi Man gets injured. Those commercials always end with a can replicating Pepsi Man's injuries, which is really fun. The level themes are often commercial references as well. You have a city, which you often see in the commercials, a desert level, which, yes, can be seen in another commercial. Pepsi Man is also a klutz, which is perfectly fun. Yeah, it's fun. Other levels are interesting. Pepsi City looks really good, but the entire city is on fire. That one's a bit much. Still, the subway part of the area is fine. Now, that being said, let's talk about the music. It sucks! The first level's pretty good, but the rest of the music is just garbage remixes of that first song. Yay. I wasn't really impressed with the soundtrack, but the first level song isn't terrible. I recommend some remixes and metal renditions of it, though. There are some good ones out there, and I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of what wanted me to play Pepsi Man to begin with anyway. Go figure. Alright, let's talk about the gameplay for a second. Pepsi Man is an auto runner, which he doesn't like slowing down or stopping. You can briefly hit the brakes, but I hardly found a use for it. You can also charge dash for a longer jump and speed up if necessary. Both are important to beat the game. Another thing you'll have to do is slide underneath certain obstacles as well as run through breakable objects with the charge run. The biggest issue with the gameplay here is that there's a slight delay in button input versus actual range of motion. That and those special areas where Pepsi Man does something dumb. Yeah, that's a cute nod to the commercials and everything like that, but this becomes a pain in the ass when sudden controls are reversed because Pepsi Man here has a trash bin over his head, or when he's skating and you can't control very well at all. But suddenly the game wants you to have perfect controls. Fantastic. Or when the camera is reversed for a boss, which... yeah. So another issue, I guess, is part gameplay, is Pepsi Man's placement in the level itself is often slightly misleading. This means it's kind of difficult to gauge distances in the game. Some things I swear are much closer, but when I jump, I end up landing on them. While other obstacles I swear are way further away than I thought, and I run right into them. The camera is located directly behind Pepsi Man, so some of that could just be bad camera placement, but who knows. The issues here are minor at best, but obviously I'm bringing them up for reasons, and that has to do with the level design, of course. From the beginning, starting, out the game and everything like that, none of the levels are super difficult. Pepsi Man has a few hits before he bites the dust completely, so the stages aren't impossible to make mistakes on. If you collect enough cans of Pepsi, you can regain health too, so that's good. You can get lives and checkpoints in the levels. That's, basic, I know, but it's nice. Here's the issue. The levels are chock full of these stupid beginner trap-like obstacles that come out of nowhere on you. You can only dodge them if you already know that they're coming. This causes Pepsi Man to take a decent amount of damage and lose time, which, yes, the levels are all timed as well. Yippee! There are a few levels where the time limit was the bane of my existence in Pepsi World, and oftentimes, I just barely cleared the stage on time. Combining all of these issues in the tougher levels, and you have some absolute, really difficult levels to beat. But only one level actually got my blood boiling. So here's the breakdown. Each mission has you go through 2 stages, and once the mission is actually complete, you get a boss fight chase level. The boss fights consist of you running towards the camera with limited view, and you are running from something. These aren't too bad, but they can be a bit annoying. The worst is the log rolling one, which shoots logs at you. If you make it too many mistakes, you end up way too close to the actual rolling logs. This cuts your ability to dodge the logs it shoots very limited, since by the time you see them, the logs are up your ass. Still, I beat it! Level 1 during the final mission in Pepsi City was annoying. Obstacles and bottomless pits are littered everywhere. This makes the small control issues a tad bit more obvious. You don't have much time either. Instant deaths are everywhere, and checkpoints might be worthless if you keep running out of lives, which restarts the entire level anyway. An absolute pain, but not blood boiling. Even if I ran out of time right next to the end of the level at one point in time, no, it was the second level of the final mission that broke me. Suddenly I'm using cheats just to get to the checkpoint, much less beating the level. I don't normally use Game Sharks, but exceptions were made. Not only is this level worse with the stupid obstacle gotcha moments, bottomless pits, and general bullcrap, but now there are conveyor belts changing your speed entirely. Oh joy! Some of the obstacles are nearly impossible to thread correctly without taking damage, and it is super easy to slip up and die instantly. Nope, level sucks. Given the conveyor belts are only in the first area, but the last section doesn't look any better with the skating through the really thin openings. Infinite lives and health, here we go. Outside of that, though, the rest of the game isn't terrible. Oh, sure, the level design is bad. It's just manageable until, that one stupid level. Alright, on to the secrets and unlockables, which, yes, this game actually has. Beating the game allows you to level select and unlocks a costume for Pepsi Man. It's his original classic colors, which is actually really cool. This also changes Pepsi cans to look like the classic Pepsi cans, which is also really neat. You can get wireframes and invisible costume for collecting all the Pepsi cans and beating expert mode, but who the hell would want to actually do that? Also, no Diet Pepsi? I know that was a weird commercial with her debut, but she was still a character. Oh, it's so obvious. Maybe this game predates that commercial? Maybe. Not entirely sure, but man, what a missed opportunity. Overall, Pepsi Man is a very interesting game. I wouldn't say it's super bad game by any means, and I've definitely played worse, but I wouldn't recommend it if you haven't seen the commercials. Pepsi Man is super 90s though, and I love that personally as a guy who grew up in the 90s. That being said, the level design is mostly horrible. The music is just one track, mostly remixed, and not very well, and the secrets are okay, but mostly cosmetic, and only one costume is really a reference to anything Pepsi Man related. The look and details in the game are good though. The story works for Pepsi Man's silliness, and the gameplay is sound enough to be fun. Yes, there were times I was having fun, mostly in the first couple of levels, but it was there. Overall, Pepsi Man is a solid 6 out of 10 for me. I think the game is okay, just edging out mediocre for me, though it came close to scoring a 5 out of 10 for sure. Either way, I can't recommend this heavily anyway. You may like it, you may not like it. Check it out if possible, but if you can't get a hold of this game, it's skippable as well. I'm actually shocked my review puts this in the middle of the road though, but I guess that makes sense given both the positive and negative reception I've seen. Overall, none of this actually made me want a Pepsi, so failure on that part, I guess. Who knows, maybe I can get a Mountain Dew Man in the future. In the meantime, this was my season finally. Tomb Raider will have to wait until next season, sadly. I'm sorry about that. I really am sorry about that. I really underestimated how long that game is. Either way, I do want to continue into Lara Croft and other PlayStation titles, but Pepsi Man will have to work for now. If you enjoyed the video though, please like, subscribe, and comment, which really does help my videos. See you all next season, folks. I'm continuing my Let's Plays throughout the break, though. Yeah, I'm only taking a break on my reviews. The Let's Plays will continue, which I'm currently working on Final Fantasy VII, Mario Galaxy, Mario RPG, the remake, and Donkey Kong Country 100%. Enjoy and take care, my minions.